All right, what is up, everybody? Shadow Scout 0013 here, coming in with a video. It feels like after such a long time. I know that I had to take a week off, but life has been super crazy. So, thank you guys for hanging and bearing with me. Today, I wanted to go over Iden. Again, I've been super busy, so I haven't gotten much in, and so I figured and go with old reliable here with Iden in 2.6 and kind of give you a few different ideas that would just be very fun and something to kind of like mess around with because I love Iden so much. Like, she's so good, especially in Battlefront 2. Finally, now that I'm actually able to play it a little with someone, because, we've just been going on a little play streak here with one of the guys who is my best man at my wedding. So, wanted to kind of keep in touch with him, so we play Battlefront every now and then. And along with that, Iden is just so good. She's so good against even Force users with the fact that she can use ID10 to kind of stun them. And yeah, it's so good. Okay, so let me go over a few different things. So first off, thank you so much for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. I am going to be doing a giveaway specifically for that. So if you want to check out the video that I am putting out specifically for the giveaway, let me know by commenting and being a subscriber that you're interested in it on that video, I should say. And that will be your entry in to win. I'm going to be giving away basically POI markers, custom made. What it'll be like your 2-inch diameter point, and it's going to have a flag standing out, and it'll have the logo on the bottom. So you don't have to necessarily see it because I don't really care about all that. I just want you guys to have a really cool looking POI. You're going to get 8 of them. 6 of them will have the flag. 2 of them won't, so that you don't get them mixed up if you do have to play Destroy the Enemy Base. So that'll be kind of cool, custom made little things for the giveaway. And I am going to be announcing the giveaway winners in a post for the Discord giveaway, the YouTube giveaway, and the Patreon giveaway. I will announce all of that. And yeah, thank you guys again for all of that. I wanted to just give a huge shout out and thank you. I'll probably do something else as well, kind of like I want to try to save up for a box giveaway as well later down the road, but at least for the meantime, I wanted to try some custom POIs for you guys. Let me get a few other things just out of the way real quick. And yeah, so first off, if you haven't been to the Discord, go ahead and head to the Discord now and become a member. It's easy, free. And what I do is I go to the server level and I just I'm going to be marking people for the start of the giveaway to the end of the giveaway, and that is how you're entered in to win. Also, I'm just checking out to see like all the people, amazing people who are just talking, like Saved, Nick. Thank you again so much, and then all of you guys here. Like, you guys do so much, and I know that there's a few of you like Elmo Rizzo and Zero Mus. Just a lot of you guys. Master Mud, y'all have done so much for the Discord, so I just want to give a shout out to a lot of you guys. Secondly, head on over to the Clan of Shadows Patreon page. There, you're going to be able to help just support the channel for the giveaways. And like I said, I'm trying to save up for a box for you guys. So, all of you guys who do help are contributing to that. So thank you. And at some point, I kind of want to do a league. I'm just trying to figure out a way to do a prize for that and sign everybody up and try to make it like either some sort of cash prize or giveaway, I should say, or something that is illegal. Not illegal, that is legal. So yeah, there you go. And then lastly, you can head on over to theburnacademy.com and subscribe for $15 a month to be able to get 3, 4, 5, and 6-day week workout programs, corrective exercise programs in case you've been injured or you're trying to rehab a little bit of stuff in your shoulders, hips, knees, anything like that. At home workouts, 30-minute workouts in case you're short on time, cardio stuff, any future programs, 120 different recipes, ways to track your progress. There's videos for it all. So yeah, that's another way to kind of just support me in general. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Thank you guys for, again, bearing with me for that. Okay, so let's talk about Iden. Iden Versio has not been changed yet. She is still the old Iden Versio that we all knew. Still really good. She's still got quick thinking, which gains an aim and a dodge. So for one action, you get two things. Very nice. She's got covert ops, so you have to have a commander in order to do covert ops. If you don't have a commander, then you can't do the covert ops, and you have to keep her as a commander, which again isn't bad because she's courage 3. And nowadays, with how suppression works, having courage 3 as a commander is amazing. So she has a gear slot, so you can just put recon intel on her and at least get her in a little bit more. And then if you do recon intel on the tactical strike turn, and she gains an aim because she's going to gain tactical 1. So when she scouts, she gains that, and then she does 2 more moves at speed 1 to gain 3 aims total, and then you can take a shot. So that's pretty nice, as far as I'm aware. And then she still has the way to be able to upload or put up her, let me just go ahead and do this, her weapon, and then you can still always bring ID 10, which I always recommend, because it's just amazing to have, especially with its own card. No one can target it. It gives you shield and recharge, so you can always at least recharge that. And there's multiple ways for her to get free recover actions. It just kind of depends on who you bring and what cards you bring, and I'll explain that with a lot of different lists that I have with her, because I wanted to come out with different style lists that with her, because she's such a knife, a Swiss Army knife, jack of all trades kind of deal. She can do close range, far away range. With marksman, it's pretty awesome, and with a certain command card, she can also do so much to core units and even suppress the heck out of anyone else. So yeah, I just absolutely love her stuff. And with loadout, when you deploy, you can swap out any of your equipped cards with your set aside upgrades, so you can really just make her how you want, and that's what I love about her as well. And she has nibble, so she's always going to gain that dodge back. And with the way that the new cover rules are and stuff like that, situational awareness used to be a staple that I'd put on her all the time, because maybe just one would go through, but not nowadays. And then you also have the shield that can do that. So I don't necessarily have her with situational awareness in any of these, but if you obviously wanted to switch out an upgrade for that, you could, especially with, loadout. So yeah, she's really, really awesome, really good. 6 health, 3 courage, still surges to hit. She even has like the E11 blaster, which is natural pierce 1 at range 1 to 3. And with marksman, it's not like you can't just upgrade it to a hit, and then if cover doesn't go through, then boom, you get that pierce 1 anyway. And then with one of her, I think it's a 1 pip that gives her sharpshooter 2, she's going to be able to shoot and gain a standby. So she might have, might be able to take a shot, and then she gains a dodge, I think, and a standby, which I'll talk a little bit about her command cards in a second. But, being able to shoot twice, still pierce 1. So if you don't bring anything, she's still fine with the E11 blast rifle if you had to not bring a weapon on her. But I highly recommend at least bringing her repeater. And then 2 red and melee, but if you do have her seeker droid, he's going to add 3 white as well in melee. So if you are at range 1 of a unit, you can have 6 dice. That could be pierce 1 and suppressive, especially if you still have ID 10. So 6 white dice, surge to hit with marksman, not that bad. Again, pierce 1 suppressive. And in melee, suppressive, which is also going to be pretty good, considering what happens with the suppression rules at the end. So yeah, let's kind of go over maybe like a few different upgrades. Duck and cover is kind of worthless on her. Endurance could be okay, but don't ever do that. Hunter and offensive push are the 2 main ones that I would always highly recommend stapling onto her. Basically, I would do offensive push and then load out hunter. They're the same exact price, and depending on what you're going for and what you're trying to do, then you can flip them out. So like, say that you wanted to go with offensive push, I would go with her repeater. If you're going to go with hunter, because she's going to probably stay back a little bit farther, then maybe go with her rifle, because that's going to give her a free aim, And then she can also quick think, move, or sorry, can't do that all at the same time. She can quick think and then shoot, which would give her 2 possible aims, and then she's only shooting 2 dice with that. So then since she surges to hit, you'd be able to just bang them both crits, not have to worry about cover, and then it's Pierce 1 natively, and it's high velocity, so they can't spend any dodge tokens at all. So then that's not too bad. And then you've also got, offensive push, which is going to be pretty good. And again, yeah, with offensive push, it gives you the tactical 1, so you can move, gain that, and then you can shoot at any point in time with the repeater, which is again really nice. So yeah, and it's critical 1, impact 1, which is way better than just her regular 3 white. So another training slot upgrade. If you're planning on getting her close, and because it is a very close game, Into the Fray I could see being okay to help her with her defense to make her last a little bit longer. Overwatch could be okay as well because her 1 pip does give her a free standby. CC Initiative is a really, really good one. Situational Awareness isn't as great as it once was, but it's still okay and pretty decent. Up Close and Personal, I mean, for the most part, probably not. And then Tenacity, if you're planning on trying to get her really close, then sure, you could have 3 red, 3 white in melee if you still have ID 10. But for the most part, I'd probably do like Seize the Initiative. And then for the loadout, I would probably go with either Overwatch or Situational Awareness, one of those two, depending on how you are going to play her. And then, like I said, even if I do keep her in the back, I tend to want ID 10 because not only for 15 points is it giving you a suppressive gun, but it's also giving you a rechargeable shield and a command card if you did want to bring it, albeit it's very, very situational, so I'd probably bring it only if you have Callus and her just alone maybe. It just kind of depends on what you're thinking, but that usually could put her at about 141 points, which is still a little too expensive in my opinion for Iden. I think that the guns should be a free upgrade, but that's me. Maybe at least 5 points instead of 15, so that would bring her down to like 131 with this kind of loadout. So that's not too bad. And if you're bringing Iden, you're probably going to need and want to bring the Imperial Special Forces squad because they will technically be Courage 3 when you have Gideon, because Gideon's going to increase your Courage by 1. You also gain Coordinate, a core trooper unit, which is going to be really, really good. And Del Mico obviously gives you the repair capacity, or repair 2, capacity 1, high velocity, lethal 1, shot, range 1 to 5, 2 black as well. They're all 2 health, so it would be a 6 health unit with red saves with 1 surge because reliable 1. They also have marksman and infiltrate to get them in fairly quickly, and so that's not too bad at all. And you're rolling 6 dice with the unit and with marksman, and it's 2 red, 4 black. You can't really go wrong with that. And then you can always add any kind of training or comms. Again with comms links, if you bring ID 10, comms jammer could be okay, especially if you plan on getting up close and you maybe wanted to bring Into the Fray. Comms relay there's no point for that, I feel like, because you want her to have the order. And then emergency transponder is going to be amazing to have because, again, it could give her that free aim if she didn't gain an order. So instead of putting HU uplink, okay, so here's how I'm thinking now with the new rule changes is because everything is going to die so quickly or everything's getting so close so quickly, then and higher dice pulls, HQ uplink is going to be too expensive on her because then you also have to recover. Now, if you have the cards to help her recover, maybe HQ uplink could be fine because then that's multiple rounds that you're giving her in a free order. But Seize the Initiative is half the cost, and it's 1 round, and you don't have to recover to get it back, so that's just more action economy that you gain, especially with 1 fewer rounds. So HQ uplink, to me, isn't as worth it as it used to be, but again, it could be okay depending on if you're going to be able to recover with her a lot. But Emergency Transponder would be the best, and then maybe Comms Jammer. For gear, like if you do want to bring anything, again, if you don't bring another commander, probably Recon Intel is going to be the best. If you do, maybe prepared supplies just prepared supplies really would be one of the things that I would take on her. With Gideon and Dell with the Imperial Special Forces, again, offensive push could be all right because then you can use that aim at any point in time. Hunter is very reliant on attacking a wounded trooper unit, so probably an operative commander or Wookiees and other specific units that have multiple health. It's very dependent. But yeah, I like bringing Hunter because then that's an extra free aim possible besides their own retinue that they get with Iden, which you're probably giving them an aim to begin with. So yeah, that's kind of like the best combo for these two. And for the most part, that is only 239 points. You have a lot to deal with. If you did bring Hunter, that's 245. You got 755 points left. So you're going to be doing fairly well with the choices that you have. So let's look at a few different lists that I've come up. Well, maybe not a few. I've got quite a bit. So I'll try to run through them fairly quickly and kind of give you the reason of a lot of these things, and hopefully you have fun with them if you would ever want to try them. So with Iden, I only have her gun on her with this one because you're probably going to be running her in. There's also not enough points for everything because there's other more important things that I thought about in this list. But at least giving her the gun would be fine, and she's 6 health, 3 courage. She's going to last a while. And with quick thinking, even if you just use her as a sniper, she's at least going to have a little bit more resiliency than, or constitution, depending on if you want to play D&D. But more constitution or resiliency than a sniper strike team. So, yeah, there you go. And it's just better with marksman. I have a Krennic in here, just naked. I've got the 7th Sister and IG-88 and the 5th Brother. This list here is trying to go after, I think it's 4 operatives and 4 special forces because you have lots of courage with that between all of them. You've got lots of good firepower, and for the most part, I think they're all red saves besides Krennic. Krennic's white. Everyone else is, red. I'll kind of explain. So you have, like Iden, you have 7th Sister with Burst of Speed, Inquisitorious Training, and Tenacity. You've got IG-88 with Targeting Scopes. You've got the 5th Brother with Burst and Tenacity, which is kind of like the bare bones minimum of what I would always put on him. And then you've got 3 Stormtroopers that are just by themselves, naked. You've got the Imperial Death Troopers with the DTF-16 to be able to fit in more points. Also, it gives you the ability to kind of spread out your compel in case you needed it. Comms relay for a little bit of extra order control in case you need it. They're free E11D config, which is going to be really nice. Because you could also, use the config, use the red at range 1 to 2 for the DTF-16 trooper. And then a few of them could also go with the range 1 to 2 gun, because it's blast, and it also just a hit, and the fact that you've got precise 2 is insanely good, because then you can reroll a ton of those dice. So yeah, it's not too bad. You've got 2 Imperial Royal Guards that are just by themselves naked, and then you've got the Imperial Special Forces with Gideon and Del Meeko. It's a very bare bones list, 12 activations, but you've got, like I said, 4 operatives between the 7th Sister, IG-88, the 5th Brother, and Iden, because you're going to be covert operating her, operativing, whatever you want to say. Putting her in as an operative, and then you've got the Imperial Death Troopers for Entourage. You've got 2 IRG and 1 Imperial Special Forces, so you've got 4 guys here. And so with command card wise, focused on the kill is what I've got, because this is going to be a permanent. It's going to be good for 2 reasons. 1, the bounty target can't use any tokens, and 2, if IG-88 has wounds equal to or exceeding his wound threshold, he is not defeated until the start of the end phase, which at least gives him a little bit longer to live and try to take somebody out, or at least try to do what he can. Come and prove it, because it's going to give out 2 orders, and it's going to give the 5th Brother and 7th Sister Indomitable, and get to roll an extra dice when defending both of them. And if the 7th Sister is declared as the target of an attack while she has a face-up order token, she's going to gain dodge, which is going to be fairly well for you, I should say. You would question me to be able to get the permanent effect of sharing tokens, mostly whenever the fifth brother gains something. Deploy the garrison, because what you could do is if the fifth brother and seventh sister are in melee, give them a free standby token so that they can go ahead and attack, and then maybe you gain the dodge. No, sorry, that's if you get something else. But yeah, um, you gain a standby. They attack you. You attack them. Then you can go with yourself, give them a suppression, and then attack because of the Inquisitorious training. So yeah, and then Annihilation looms to give everybody hand out some suppression. And because you've got, Courage 3 Special Forces, Courage 2 here, Courage 2 here, and if they get an order, they're disciplined, so they can just remove that one of those suppression. Fifth Brother might not have any, because it could be null with Enrage. The IG-88 doesn't care about suppression unless he's panicked. Seventh Sister is Courage 3. Iden Versio is Courage 3. Director Krennic is Courage 2. So you've got a lot of good ability to kind of just don't care about that. And then with Tac Strike, you're going to give it to Iden, 3 of your Special Forces, both IRG and the Imperial Special Forces here. And then with Entourage, you're giving your Death Troopers. So every one of your Special Forces have an order. And then, obviously, you're going to give it to one of your operatives. And so the only thing left in the bag is 3 more operative tokens, a commander token, and then 3 more stormtrooper tokens. And then it's not like you can't just choose out of the 3 which ones you want to go with first, like IG-88 or Fifth Brother or Seventh Sister, stuff like that. So it's a fun list. It's not something that's probably going to be very competitive and very good, but hey, that should be fairly fun. Next up, we have Iden with Offensive Push. Her loadout would be Hunter. Her DLT and or Repeater. Obviously, you're probably going to want to go with having all of that. And then her Seeker Droid. There's no loadout for that, obviously. You're going to have Krennic by himself with Electro Binoculars. You have Bosk with Hunter and Targeting Scopes. So you've got a decent operative over here. You can have 2 operatives whenever you put her into Covert Ops to let her become an operative. Director Krennic with Electro Binoculars, he can give out 2 aims, one to Iden, one to Bosk, and then he can take an aim, which he could be able to share with Iden. So that would be very good for her. And her marksman, you've got Stormtroopers with the T-21B and the whole Stormtrooper squad, and Recon Intel. And the reason I have the T-21B on here is because of the T-21 is because of the Critical 2. You're going to be rolling a massive amount of dice, and so having Critical 2 on there is going to it's going to help yield a lot more crit possibilities. With the fact that you're going to be rolling, 5 here, plus another 5, so 10 dice altogether. And Critical 2, even though you still search to hit. And then another Stormtrooper squad with the RT-97C, a captain to help you mitigate suppression. Because with this one, basically, when you activate, you cannot remove suppressions or be suppressed during this activation. So at the end of the round, you'll still probably take one off. And Recon Intel, and then another Stormtrooper squad with the DLT-19, Stormtrooper Captain again with that suppression, and then Recon Intel. You've got the Imperial Death Troopers with the DLT, Comms Relay, Recon, and the E11 config. That way, again, with the Entourage, if you wanted to hand this Comms Relay to Iden, especially during the turn that you play Krennic's 1-pip, which just gives it to Krennic, and then you can Entourage it to the Death Troopers, which can Comms Relay it to Iden. So that way, at least your 2 main guys have something. If not, the other thing that I highly, highly recommend is giving the Comms Relay to the ISF, because Gideon has Coordinate to a Core Trooper unit. So then you can hand out 2 orders instead of just 1. So instead of giving it to the Death Troopers, you hand it out to the ISF, which will then hand it out to maybe the T-21 Stormtrooper squad. So they can just kind of do as much damage as possible, hopefully, with all those white dice. But that's kind of just dependent on dice. So yeah, there you go. And then your plans, you've got Vicious Ambition again. So if you wanted to Comms Relay it to Iden, you could. Pulse Scan, which only gives it to Iden. And then, like I said, you could probably Comms Relay it to ISF again and hopefully hand out some more orders. Lying in wait for sure, deploy the garrison for sure, reptilian rampage, and tactical strike. Now I have lying in wait instead of Krennic's 3-pip because I don't know. That was just me. So you can, instead of giving lying in wait, you can just do Krennic's 3-pip instead, because at least Bosk might have null because of enrage. You might have null courage. Krennic's 2, Iden's 3. Your ISF is 3. Death Troopers again, if they get an order, they can just take off 1 suppression. The Imperial Special Forces with the T-21, I have 2 of those in here because I wanted more infiltration units, and they also have reliable 1, and they're cheaper than a ton of other Death Troopers. And they haven't seen much love on the table, so I figured, why not try to have a few of those? And they still have, again, Marksman and Critical 2 with their T-21, so that's also not that bad, especially since they're going to be throwing, 8 dice, range 3. That's not too bad. And with Krennic being able to also share tokens, his aim tokens, he can hand out, an aim to Iden and the ISF Inferno Squad, and then take an aim, which he can then possibly share with the T-21s. So, yeah. And if you wanted to, you could probably see about having to go with... man, that would be pretty tough. Hopefully, you could try to go with Krennic. The first round would be very, very tough, because you can't just hand out those tokens to everyone first. So you'd play your Tech Strike first, and then the second round, try to go with Orson and Krennic first, hand out all those aims, take an aim, and then they can either move and shoot and then still have that aim, or at least aim and possibly have up to 2 aims. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff you can try to do with this. 10 activations. Everything's fairly loaded, so you've got a bunch of bodies on the board. And then I also, if you ever do click these, which all of them are in the description, the battle plans are all on there. And if you've got questions, comment in the comment section down below. All right, so this one, Iden with Seize the Initiative this time, and then Offensive Push and Hunter with Seize the Initiative. Maybe if you wanted to, again, go with, let's just say, Situational Awareness as a loadout. And then her ID 10, you've got Krennic again with Lead by Example and Electro Binoculars. You've got 2 Black Sun Enforcers with the Magdet, Black Sun, Vigo, and Recon Intel, because everything's getting a lot closer. So why not have 2 other extra Courage 2 core units in there? That's got a lot of impact. And then you've got 3 Naked Stormtroopers for just objective play if you have to. You've got Imperial Death Troopers with the DLT 19D Comms Relay and their config. You've got Scout Troopers. You've got 2 of them with the Sonic Charge Saboteur. You've got 2 strike teams, and you've got the Imperial Special Forces here with, again, Gideon, Delmico, and Hunter. So you have quite a bit of special forces here. You have, let's see, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 special forces, and a pretty heavy hitting core unit there. Iden, Director Krennic. So lots of Courage 2 units, I think there's only 3 units in this whole entire list that have Courage 1, so playing Krennic's 3-pip could actually be a fairly good idea. And I put Coordinated Fire in here because of the extra aims. You can give it to maybe like the 3 Stormtroopers, and then, with Entourage, you can give it to someone else. Actually, you know what? Screw that. Let's get rid of Coordinated Fire and put Annihilation Looms, because with what you could do with Annihilation Looms is you give it to Krennic, you give it to 2 special forces, or 2 core units, basically the Stormtroopers, and then you can comms relay another one to ISF, which can then coordinate to a Stormtrooper unit, so you have even more stuff out there on the board. You don't have to do that, obviously. If you wanted 5 core in the bag, you can give it to Krennic, Iden, so that way your commanders or commander operative have an order, and then you can give that third one to, let's just say, a Scout Trooper unit, and then you can give the Entourage comms relay to ISF, and then they can relay it to a Stormtrooper squad But it's 13 activations, fairly well. Again, a lot of Courage 2 units in there. Some short range and a little bit of long range between you've got, the 3 snipers in here between 2 strike teams, Delmico, and then some Sonic Charge Saboteurs, so some pretty close range there, some pretty close range with the Black Sun Enforcers, and some long range between the Death Troopers and Iden, depending on how you load her out. So yeah, lots of at least variations in your range. You got another list with Iden and the loadout that I've been going with Seeker Droid, her gun, and offensive push, and/or Hunter. Callus with Tenacity and the bow rifle, so that you have some sort of melee unit in here who also will have, immune to pierce if you spend the dodge. So at least if a force user doesn't have force push, as long as you're charging in with Agent Callus and you somehow give him a dodge, he's going to be immune to that pierce. So he's going to be able to tie up a force user a lot longer. And with Tenacity, he's going to be able to roll 2 red, 2 black, and a white. So 5 dice is no joke still in melee. And he does surge to hit crit. So even better there. So I think Agent Callus has become a lot better, and hopefully soon we'll see his updated card and unit card, so that'll be really nice. I have IG-88 in here with targeting scopes, mostly because the fact that he is a droid trooper, you can use Delmico to repair him once for 2 wounds, and since he's only 5 health, that really is going to help a lot. I've got 2 units of short troopers with the T-21B and the Imperial Officer to make sure that they're all Courage 2 and prepared supplies, so that way when you do put them on the board, you're going to give them a dodge and they have a possible second dodge, and you're probably hopefully putting them in a spot where there's a line of sight blocker helping you a lot. So yeah, give that a shot. Stormtrooper squad with T-21 Stormtrooper, mostly for points and recon intel. And then you've got a mortar over here. 2 mortars, I should say, sorry. Then you have 2 Imperial Special Forces with the T-21, and then you've got the ISF with Hunter. So 11 activations. You do have help with Agent Callus and IG-88 and his cunning and his contingencies. So you've got Focus on the Kill, again, to kind of really help with the bounty not spending tokens and keeping him alive a little bit longer. I've got Pulse Scan in here because giving Sharpshooter 2 and an aim, and then maybe she does quick thinking, so to give her a second aim and a dodge, and then she can shoot, is going to be really, really nice. And then at the end of the activation, she gains a standby and a dodge, so she could possibly have 2 attack actions that round, because she'd be attacking in a different unit's activation with the standby. You have ISB Investigation to shut down a command card and kind of see a little bit of your opponent's hand. You have Concussive Blast to help her recover, and because it's also 5 dice with Blast and Scatter and Suppressive at range 1 to 2, since everything's getting so close, that gun, I'm telling you, especially in Battlefront 2, that's almost all I'm using with that gun for the most part. Taking out so many units or people out there. But the free recover is also really nice. It's when she activates, so she doesn't even have to do her rally step. She just gets rid of all of the suppression and gets her recharge back, all that stuff. So this is such a good card. And then you've got Attack Strike and Ruthless Tactics to hand out some extra observation tokens. And then contingencies, you could do Face Me in case you do need to run against a Force user. Maybe you can just drop Pulse Scan and go with Face Me to give him also Cunning, and so that he can gain Agile 1, so he can double move, gain 2 dodges, and then he can spend the dodge to gain Immune to Pierce and block. And he's going to get a free recover action during his activation, so he does have to rally, but you can get that free recover to change into the bow staff and from the bow rifle to give you just a helpful free action, so you don't have to recover to kind of change that. So yeah. And then Machine Made for Killing could also be the 2-pip that you get rid of instead of Concussive Blast, because you're probably going to want to have ISB Investigation. Concussive Blast only gives it to Iden, so if you wanted something that gives it to IG-88 and he gains Steady, Demoralize 3, and an Aim, which is a lot more than Concussive Blast, but it depends on how you're playing Iden. If you're playing Iden pretty aggressively and she's got to recover, probably go with Concussive Blast, but if you're trying to play with IG-88 a little bit more aggressively, since you do have Del Meeko healing him, you could probably go with a machine made for killing instead of that. So it just kind of depends on who you're playing more or what the situation calls for. All right, let's go for a few more. Iden Versio, again, same loadout, because I'm enjoying the way that this loadout is, again, with the way that also I'm trying to fill out all the rest of the activations. This is kind of like a good standard for her. You have General Veers with the electro binoculars. You've got another Stormtrooper squad with the T-21 and the whole squad with recon. You've got Stormtroopers with the DLT-19 and recon, 3 of those. You've got 4 core altogether. And then you have 2 ISF, just regular guys. 2 of them, both of them have the emergency transponder for the extra free aim. So then now you're capitalizing a little bit more on marksmen and making them a little bit more deadly. And then you have the ISF Inferno Squad with Hunter. And then you have an ATST with the Hammers Pilot and the 88 Twin Light Blaster Cannon. So this is going to kind of help you land a few more hits. If you did want more, like if you wanted Iden to have seize the initiative, then what you could do is go with the First Sergeant and or Governor Price is actually going to be fairly good too with ISF and Inferno Squad and Iden, because she hands out an aim and a suppression, and with Courage 3 units, they're not really going to care too much about that suppression, especially if they're not getting shot at too much. But a free ability to hand out the aim, and then Veers being able to hand out 3 aims and then give himself an aim, you'd have a lot of different aims on the table. You just wouldn't surge to hit, but you'd have, if you did go with Governor Price, you'd have 5 extra points to be able to give Iden her seize the initiative, to give her an extra order when she needs it. And then also, in case you wanted to bring either Overwatch or situational awareness, you could. But that's also going to give you a few extra points. And so I would use that on probably Inferno Squad or Iden, because they've got Courage 3 and you have to hand them a suppression as well as an aim. It's not that bad. And you're probably going to have the Imperial Special Forces Inferno Squad next to the ATST a little bit more so than Iden, because of Del Meeko's Repair 2 Capacity 1. So he'll be able to heal the ATST for 2 wounds, and Governor Price can just hand them an extra aim, which would go really nicely with Del Meeko, especially if there's another multi-wound unit on the board and you have Hunter, and then you've got Reliable. So you've got 3 aims again to choose from, because, you know, with Tac Strike, you have Retinue, and then you have a Speed 1, so that's 3 aims. Turn 2, you know, you have Retinue, and then you have Governor Price, and then maybe Hunter, and that's without even taking an aim. And then you take an aim, you've got 4 aims. You can shoot with Del Meeko at somebody, and then possibly spend 2 aims just to marksman up. And then you have 2 more aims left with Gideon and the regular guy, so 2 red, 2 black. Shoot those, and then you can, and you surge to hit already. So yeah, there's lots of ways that this can make Inferno Squad a little bit deadlier. The Imperial Special Forces have the T-21 for critical 2, which is again really nice. If you did have to take an aim, you could possibly have 3 crits with them. And yeah, so then cover really doesn't matter with that at that point. The T-21 here, you don't have a lot of impact, but you do have at least the DLT-19 for impact 1 each. So besides having those, you'd have the critical on here, and you'd have, you know, marksmen on most of those stuff. Plus, you do have impact with ATST. It's going to be impact 4 altogether with the regular twin blasters, which is impact 3, plus the light cannon is going to be an extra impact 1. So yeah, lots of ways to get a lot of hits through. It's 10 activations, and you know, General Veers, he's also got the 3-pip. In case you did want to go with his 3-pip, that allows for a recover with the Imperial Discipline. So you could help Iden get a free recover action. So now she gets her shield back and offensive push back. And then she's also probably got her 2-pip in here, Concussive Blast, to give her another free recover action. So you're doing a lot of free recovering with Iden. So even if you, and also maybe you give it to that Imperial Discipline to Veers, because you have to. You give another one to Iden, so she gets the free recover, and then you give another one to the ISF here that gets a free recover. And so now the Governor Price suppression doesn't matter at all. So that's just another way to get some fun combinations between them. So yeah, then again, she's got, and with maximum firepower, maybe pop her Seize the Initiative then. Or if you, I also gave her Incapacitate card on this one. So during Iden Versio's activation, you can choose enemy trooper at range 1 in a line of sight of ID 10 and not her. And you can always cohere the ID 10 farther forward when you know you're about to play this card next, possibly. So that unit's going to gain 3 suppression tokens. So if it's any other force user, that's courage 3, and they don't roll anything off, I mean, that's only one action, so they might be able to move and charge instead of aim or dodge or do anything else like that. And then if it's a core unit that has not activated yet, you can assign it a face down order token from their order pool. So you probably could panic them by the end of the round, and then before scoring, and at least it shuts down for free a core unit, so that they can't attack you, and you might even be able to just shoot at them and gain even more suppression on that unit. It's a card that doesn't really see a lot of play because there's a lot of other better 2-pip options, but it's still nice and a very good thing. I wish that this was something that was on ID 10's unit card itself that you could only use once, or other ways to incorporate this, but it's so tough having it on a command card that it never really gets played. So yeah, that's just a lot of fun between Veers and Iden. So next up, it's going to be very similar. You have Iden, and then with Seize this time, naturally, you have Veers with electric binoculars. You've got the 7th sister and 5th brother. Both of them have Force Choke instead of Burst of Speed this time, so that they can also do 1 more damage. They both have Tenacity, and then she's got the Inquisitorious Training. I've got a Stormtrooper squad with the DLT, another one with the DLT, 2 more with the DLT, and the FX9 Medical Droid. So you've got 4 extra wounds to be able to heal 7th sister and or 5th brother, especially after he's enraged. It's pretty nice to probably start healing him. You've got, again, 2 special forces here with the T-21. And then you've got the Inferno squad with Hunter. Now, the reason I've got Veers in here, again, is because of his 3-pip that allows for a free recover action. So you just play it after you've used the Force Choke on the 7th sister and 5th brother. You play Imperial Discipline, give them the order, they recover for free. You could use Force Choke again, and then attack, and then you've probably deleted a unit. Hopefully by that point, because it'd be Pierce 1, but then you're Force Choking, so that's kind of like Pierce 2, almost in a way. And then you're probably stuck in melee, so then you get the free reaction. You can Force Choke if there's one guy left, and then you can move, and charge, because you got the free reaction, free recover anyway. And then also Force Choke again. So it makes them a little bit more deadlier when you've got Veers with them for that extra free recover with that Force Choke. Plus, it's the same price as Burst of Speed, so in case you did want to Burst of Speed instead of Force Choke, you could. But why not make them a little bit deadlier when you've got the ability to give them that free recover? And not to mention, you also have their own command card, their own 2-pip that allows them to recover again for free. So you've got 2 free recover actions during the game. So you might as well go with Force Choke, because that's the ability to use it 3 times. So that's an extra 3 minis in the game that you're taking out for free, not having to worry about anything. So it just makes them way deadlier. And so that's why I would combine them with Veers. Like I was saying, you've got the Unexpected but Not Welcome. So whenever they're issued an order by this card, it recovers. And so any suppression they have or anything like that, take it off, give them the free Force Choke back, and then Imperial Discipline when a unit it is in order. It recovers. Again, all the suppression doesn't really matter. So you don't even have to worry about the fifth brother's courage 2 at that point. So, and then Iden is just kind of there on her own, doing what she can with Seize the Initiative and her Seeker Droid. You could probably really mostly put her into the DLT mode on this one and kind of keep her in the back depending on the objectives you choose. And the fact that you've got 3 special forces and you could have 3 operatives, Bunker Assault is going to be huge on this one. So she's going to be doing fairly well on her own while everyone's trying to focus on the 7th sister and 5th brother, trying to maybe even ignore Iden for a little while, which is separating out the firepower from the 7th sister and 5th brother. So you don't have to worry about that as much. In between the different, stuff there, you've got medical droids. If you didn't want the ISF, ISF, it's just the regular guys here, you could just probably go with the Royal Guard and then give them, let's say, Tenacity to 75 points. And let's see, so if you gave them Tenacity and the Electro Staff Guard for more bodies instead of the ISF here, you're going to save 4 points, which is a lot in a way, because then you can probably give, 4 points. Let's see, Into the Fray onto the 5th brother, which could help a lot. Yeah. Or maybe you didn't want Seize Initiative on Iden. You can give another upgrade to the 5th brother. But I figured with having a lot of the Inquisitor's cards, giving the ability for Iden to gain an order is a little bit more important. Because if you did Imperial Discipline and you decided to give it to Veers, both Inquisitors, then you could pop Seize Initiative on Iden. So you have only core and special forces in the bag, and you've got all your important characters having an order. So yeah, 10 activations, not too bad. And you get to make more use out of the Inquisitors with their Force Choke being able to be used 3 times without really having to take that recover action. All right, last 2. Iden Versio with Offensive Push, Repeater, and her Seeker Droid. You have Boss with Hunter and Targeting Scopes. You've got Snowtroopers with Recon and Smoke Grenades. You've got Stormtroopers with the Medical Droid, and then a regular Stormtrooper with the Captain. So you've got your 3 core. You've got Death Troopers with the DTF-16 and their 11D config. You've got Imperial Special Forces with the T-21, and then you've got Inferno Squad, along with 3 full range troopers. So you've got the DLT-20A for extra impact, and then the extra range trooper. So you're shooting a lot of dice, long range. So this is the long range specific list, because this is range 4 to 5. The Imperial Special Forces Inferno Squad is range 5 with Dell. You've got the Imperial Special Forces that have Recon Intel that can at least shoot range 3. You have the Death Troopers that are, again, range 3 at least. Your Stormtroopers, Snow Troopers. Bosk is range 4. And Iden can be range 5 if she wanted to. Actually, Infinity if she wanted to with her DLT. So you've got lots of long-range stuff to be able to use and lots of impact between, you got Surge to hit with Bosk. You've got Iden with her Marksman. You've got Critical 2 with your Imperial Special Forces. You've got Marksman with the ISF here, and you've got Impact 2 with the range 1 to 5 guns on the range troopers. And you're shooting, 6-7 dice with the range troopers at range 4 at least. So that's fairly good. Having that extra dice on there is big time important because it really does help a lot. So it's 11 activations of hopeful, long range, and again, most of them are courage 2. And then with the Stormtrooper Captain on here, you can kind of ignore suppression for an activation for at least once. The Snowtroopers, they can recon intel, move, pop the smoke grenade to kind of help with whenever you do decide to recon intel, infiltrate with the Imperial Special Forces. So giving you a little bit of extra cover when you need it. So yeah, that is the long-range version. And then Last but not least, you have Iden with the Imperial Special Force, Imperial Officer. You've got Emergency Transponder on Iden. You've got the Seeker Droid. You've got Offensive Push, Hunter. You've got Shore Troopers, 3 of them with prepared supplies, 2 mortars. So you've got a lot of stuff already on the board. You've got Imperial Special Forces, both of them with the T-21 and Offensive Push. So a little bit more, again, aggressive build with those guys. Imperial Special Forces with Inferno Squad with Hunter, and then 3 bikes, 13 activations. This is like a very old school list. This is one of the lists that I've taken from a long time ago and just added a little bit more. And it's fun. I mean, it's just like you've got your Shore Troopers and Mortars, hopefully shooting at range 4 with, long shot. They're, not very fast, but you do have bikes, which are very fast. And then you've got lots of infiltrate, so they're going to move up pretty quickly, moving to the end of the line. The officer has electric binoculars to kind of help with either hopefully helping with the shore troopers and or mortar. And, when you do give the Imperial Special Forces Inferno Squad an order, they can coordinate to a shore trooper, which can then coordinate to a mortar, giving them a free standby. So the more that you're able to try and give Inferno Squad an order and then coordinate it to a shore trooper, which can coordinate it to a mortar, that's an extra free standby that you can get 2 shots off with the mortar at that point, which is and it's suppressive. So that's going to be really nice, handing out more suppression. And again, you've got 13 activations. So lots of activations, and yeah, it just seems more of like a fun list than a very competitive list as well. And again, with Inferno Squad, with Del Mico, he can heal a bike 2 wounds, and or even bring back a bike if it was just taken out that round and give it 1 wound. And so yeah, that is just really helpful when you've got vehicles or droid operatives with Inferno Squad. So yeah, that is it, guys. If you like Iden, hopefully this was a very fun video for you. If you don't like Iden, I'm sorry. Hopefully I didn't disappoint you with at least the Veers. Ooh, no. The Veers list with the ATST and Governor Price. I hope that seems like a very fun one to play. I might even play that one soon because it just seems like tons of aims that you're handing out and lots of damage output. So, yeah. All right, guys. Head on over to the Discord and become a member. We will say hi to you. I hope that you do get involved and start posting some stuff in here. That'd be awesome. Head on over to the Clan of Shadows Patreon and just kind of support the channel, help with giveaways and everything else. It just kind of helps to benefit you guys. And become a YouTube subscriber and leave a comment, and that also helps a lot. I will try to announce another giveaway soon, but I just wanted to make sure that I kind of save up a little bit for a really nice gift for you guys, maybe on top of the 3D printed POIs that I'm getting custom made for you guys. But all right, guys, y'all have a great one. Stay safe, and yeah, I never know how to end these things. If you got a recommendation, let me know. Maybe I'll come up with one at some point. But yeah, thank you to all of the Patreon members. You guys are awesome. And yeah, take it easy, guys. Peace out.